I'm amazed by how close we are to a military action against Iran. It's no defense of Iran. Of course, I'm not a Shiite, for the record, but I think it comes with perils that people are not considering or willfully ignoring. And the main one is Iran is not Iraq, or it's not Libya. It's not isolated. It's a central player in BRICS. 90% of Iran's oil exports go to China. It just signed a defense agreement with Russia in January. It has backup. It has big allies that represent the majority of the world's population and the majority of the world's economy and landmass. So the potential for this to become something much, much bigger and unmanageable is real. It's there. I think the downsides are really kind of overwhelming. The president has said repeatedly, we'll do everything we can to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. I think it's a completely reasonable goal. Nobody wants that. But it doesn't mean that it has to happen on Friday. Actually, I'm amazed by how close we are to a military action against Iran. It's no defense of Iran. Of course, I'm not a Shiite, for the record, but I think it comes with perils that people are not considering or willfully ignoring. And the main one is Iran is not Iraq, or it's not Libya. It's not isolated. It's a central player in BRICS. 90% of Iran's oil exports go to China. It just signed a defense agreement with Russia in January. It has backup. It has big allies that represent the majority of the world's population and the majority of the world's economy and landmass. So the potential for this to become something much, much bigger and unmanageable is real. It's there. I think the downsides are really kind of overwhelming. The president has said repeatedly, we'll do everything we can to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. I think it's a completely reasonable goal. Nobody wants that. But it doesn't mean that it has to happen on Friday, actually.
I had to let that play twice so everyone could hear what Tucker Carlson had to say about the United States of America and what he thought would inevitably happen if the United States chose to invade Iran. And I'm here to tell you that much like the people who follow Tucker Carlson, he was absolutely wrong. And he's not happy about the fact that Donald Trump made him look like a fool. And he's going to do anything in his power. He's going to do anything in his power to trash Donald Trump, make him look bad in an effort to ease the pain or make it seem as if he was right. But he wasn't. Look around you. They told you it was World War III. They told you the Strait of Hormuz would be the graveyard of the American empire. But look at the scoreboard. You see that? The Jumbotron, look up there. When the Ayatollah tried to choke the world's windpipe by blockading the strait, well, the new Ayatollah, because the old one is dead. He was dead within the first 2 days. He didn't realize he was handing Donald Trump the keys to his kingdom. That blockade didn't starve us. It actually bankrupted them. Today, the oil that used to line the pockets of the regime that hates your way of life, they hate your very existence, they chant death to America every chance they get in the morning before they brush their teeth and eat their Ayatollah flakes. Well, the money that feeds them is being rerouted. Those former Iranian customers, the guys who bought up all that Iranian oil, they're not looking to Tehran anymore. They're looking to the red, white, and blue. We aren't just dominant. We are profitable. We're talking about a shift that has put America in line to harvest trillions of dollars in revenue from the coffers of our number one enemy. This isn't an endless war. It's been like a little bit over a month. This is turning out to be more of an endless payday. And they mad. But why are they mad? Well, because they were caught up in something I like to call the doomer scam. Where are the prophets of doom now? oh, Iran is going, they signed a defense pact with Russia, and they signed a defense pact with China. And if we touch Iran, China and Russia, they going to raise up on us and come down and whoop our ass, and they got hypersonic missiles. Remember all that yin yang people was talking? Remember the drama. Oh my God, China, they're Thanos and they have laser beams and they shoot laser beams out their asshole and they'll destroy America in a conventional war. All that shit. Where are they now? You could talk all day about Tucker Carlson. You could talk all day about Candace Owens. You could talk all day about Nick Fuentes. They spent months spinning webs of hypocrisy, blinded because they were angry at Trump. Well, they were really angry at Israel, but because Trump is an ally to Israel, they became angry at Trump because he moved closer to Israel and cut off access to them because he realized, being a New York City businessman, he understands when someone's just using you or attempting to use you or attempting to fake a friendship or a bond with you for the sole purpose of enriching themselves. Trump understood that, right? So he used them for what they were useful for, and then he dismissed them the way they would do anybody else. They're so angry at Israel that they couldn't even see America's greatness standing right in front of them. They operated in total contradiction, praying for America's downfall, praying for America's retreat, while claiming to love American strength. They were scammed by the same tired conspiracy theories that have been recycled for decades. Go back to the early 2000s, go back to the 90s, the 80s, even the 70s, and you'll see that this nonsense is nothing more than Iranian and Chinese and Russian propaganda just constantly being recycled and sold to the dummies who have no recollection of history. They were scammed. And you know what the most tragic part of the scam is? The most tragic part of this scam is the most tragic part of every scam. It's that the scammer is never really exposed because the victims are too embarrassed to admit they were fooled. They'd rather stay quiet than admit Trump put belt to ass, eliminated the Ayatollah, and secured the bag for the American worker. Let's sit here and just admit. Can you admit? Are you man or woman enough to admit that they lied to you and everything they told you would happen for the past 10 to 20 years did not manifest? Where is China? Where is Russia? Where is the defense pact? Where is it? Where are these conventional weapons that were going to come out from the buttholes of China and Russia and obliterate the American forces and send us running back to the Pacific Ocean in defeat? Where are they? I want to see them. You've been bothering me for the past 10 years, telling me that I was wrong, I was a liar, I'm a coon, I'm a hypocrite, I'm licking the boots of Trump, all this mess. And I was just like, nah, I'm just using common sense. When you spend 5 times what all these countries spend on military defense combined, there's a good chance that you're going to kick their ass when you put belt to ass. That's like a team bringing in all stars, spending $500 million on contracts, going way over the salary cap, and losing everything. That's highly unlikely to happen. Even Vegas is going to bet for that team. But where is the Chinese militaristic superiority that these idiots claimed existed? Where's the Russian dominance in military exercises in combat that they claim existed? It's nowhere to be found. These people had all these empty prophecies, just like Iran was making a bunch of empty threats. Watch the behavior of the people they're rooting for, and that will tell you about the lies and false promises of the people that are rooting for them. Look at Iran as a country. They bark at the moon. They make crushing threats while quietly making concessions behind closed doors. It mimics a tragic political pattern we've seen too often in decolonized sectors of Africa. It mimics a pattern we've seen in our own backyard when it comes to the political practices of African Americans. A bunch of talk, a bunch of rhetoric for the masses to cheer, yeah, and celebrate power to the people, while the elites sell the floorboards right from up underneath the people's feet. It's a performance of strength to mask the reality of submission. Black people are the vanguard of the revolution against America. We gonna fight the American government and we gonna get freedom and reparations. Whole time, black folks selling each other out left and right for personal gain. That's the same thing Iran is doing, guys. And if you can't see it, you just a damn fool. Iran is posturing. They talking all that yin yang, as we call it in the hood. But behind closed doors, man, they begging America not to get in that ass. These guys came out today and were like, well, we told America we would stop with the nuclear shit for 5 years, but they were saying that they were never going to stop the nuclear program publicly, saying America had to pay them reparations, and just talking real tough. But then when America's like, nah, we blocking everything, y'all money cut off, man, we told y'all we'd give y'all 5 years. Well, why didn't you say you would concede to 5 years publicly the day you said you would do it? Because they were trying to sell wolf tickets. Because they were trying to posture and make it look like they were in a better position than they were. And you know who told you that they had no cards from day one? Donald Trump. There hasn't been, in my opinion, a single thing that Donald Trump has lied about when it came to the capabilities of Iran since this conflict started. You just didn't want to believe him because you were rooting for Iran and hoping Iran defeated the American military so you would feel better about getting your ass whooped a couple hundred years ago by America. But it was all true. Everything he said was true. They have no cards. They have no military. They can't do anything to us, can't touch us. And we're up on the scoreboard by 150, and they ain't even scored a single point. They launched thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of missiles to kill 14 Americans. And most of that was by accident. Explain it to me. Explain. Don't criticize. Explain to me where I'm lying. You lied. You guys all lied to me. You lied on me. You made me out to be some type of fool who didn't know what he was talking about. And now look, Iran itself is confirming that everything I said was true. There's a proverb that says a dog that barks from a distance is a dog that knows its fence is strong. A dog that barks while retreating is already beaten. Do you even understand what that means? Can you even grasp the gravity of that quote? The global black community, to the skeptics and to the non-believers, don't let the doomer industry profit off of you. Don't let the doomer industry, because it is an industry, don't let the doomer industry convince you that American success is somehow your downfall. The book of Proverbs tells us at the 13th chapter, verse 22, the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. We aren't just witnessing an American military victory. We're witnessing a divine repossession of resources that were never meant for a demonic Islamic regime that hates. It thrives on death. It thrives on war by proxy. It thrives on lies and deceptions. And everything they had has been preordained to come into the possession of America's righteous people. And you're an American, so if you say we're not righteous, then you're not righteous. Are you going to keep shivering in the shadows and being scared of what if? Shuddering or shivering in the corner because a conspiracy theorist got you all scared? Man, they're taking the damn money out of your check. You paying for this military to be as strong as it is. Why don't you have a little faith in it? You should be applauding the performance of our men and women in uniform. Thankful that your taxpayer dollars are going towards building one of the mightiest military machines in the history of this country. What are you mad about? I would feel stupid if they were taking these billions out of my check and then the military go over there and can't do shit. That's what would have pissed me off. We dominated. We dominated 100%. We dominated 100%. You're going to be scared because of a bunch of conspiracy theorists? Or are you going to stand in the light of what actually is and walk out of the darkness of what if and oh man, you don't know? Because if I don't know, you damn sure don't know. You've been wrong about everything and I've been right about everything. Are you going to continue to allow yourself to be victimized or be the victim of embarrassment? Getting scammed by people who know less than you? People like Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, their whole stick is that they act like they don't know anything. And then they throw out a bunch of suggestive reasoning and wait for you to walk yourself off a cliff so then later on they could say, well, I never said that. I remember Tucker Carlson calling the IRGC a barbaric regime and they need to be annihilated. I remember Tucker Carlson coming out strongly against Iran in the games that they were playing over in the Middle East. But all of a sudden, he gets on the payroll of a Qatari billionaire and he totally flips the script. He's getting paid to do what he does. You don't get a dime for falling for it and believing it. I'm not falling for anything that some white guy says who's simply a journalist. Journalists are not implicitly smarter than you. They don't automatically know more than you. They have teams of producers who feed them information and they regurgitate the information on camera. That is it. Tucker Carlson probably couldn't even beat you in a quiz about world history. But you're going to let him totally dominate your mind when it comes to predictions of the future. That's why I played that Tucker Carlson clip at the beginning. Because he was wrong about every single thing he said about what China would do, about what Russia would do, and about what Iran would do, and how difficult it would be. Iran is not Iraq, and they do, and blah, 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 blah. All this shit people talking about. They whooped Iran's ass. America beat the dog crap out of Iran, and it didn't even take them long, and lost about 14 people. Are you going to keep letting yourself be victim to these scams? Or are you going to demand your share? Are you going to put all this nonsense down and start looking to the future? Look into the trillions of dollars that are about to come in this country and make sure that you demand a cut. Because that's where your mind should be right now. I don't give a damn what happens to the Ayatollah lovers over there. Are you going to see that money coming in your direction? And get ready for these trillions of dollars that's about to come and see how much of it you could get. Chevron just announced today that they're hiring thousands of workers. Did you know that? I know for a fact because my friend sent me a link to apply for the job. They must know something that you don't know. They're not listening to Tucker Carlson. They're not listening to dumbass Candace Owens. They're not listening to goofy-ass Megyn Kelly. They're watching the money. Where's the money? And that's why Trump will always be dominant and always be a better source of information than any of the conspiracy theorists, black pill doomers. Because Trump learned one thing a long time ago from his daddy. Follow the money. The money don't lie. They talked all this shit. All this shit. And now ships right now today are leaving the Persian Gulf, headed over here to America to buy American oil. And China's going to eventually break down. And China's already buying American oil because now they're buying Venezuelan oil and we control that. You know, do you ever ask yourself, dang, you know what? Maybe all this conspiracy shit I'm talking ain't even true. Maybe I'm just afraid of power. Maybe I just don't like the way the game is played because I don't know how to play it. I'm telling you right now today how to play the game. Follow the money. Follow the money.